Well, hey folks, how y'all doing? This is Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Fat Guy Flies RC studio. Alright, yes, big white box in front of you. Yes, it's a new plane. Alright, a few weeks back, well actually about a week or so ago, Hobby King reached out to me, Hobby King, and said, hey, we're coming out with another new plane from Avios. Would you be interested in reviewing it? And I'm like, okay, happy to. And it's the all-new Avios Grand Tundra 2. Now, I never had the original Grand Tundra, so I can't speak for it, but I'm very excited about this. Basically, it's the same thing. Think of their Durafly Tundras, and make it a big 6S version of that, and which I'm very happy about. So let's take it out of the box, see what all's in. Let's put this bad boy together. But as you can see, it isn't small. Okay, this is not a small plane by any stretch of the imagination. So open it up. I've already opened it up to make sure everything was okay, but I haven't taken anything out of the box. It's been sitting in the man cave for a couple of days, and I've slept since then, so I forgot. To let you know, it's got a 1700 millimeter wingspan, or 67.1 inches. Length is 49.6 inches long. I'm going to assume this is flying weight is 6.2 pounds. It has the new Turnigy SK3 F5055 500 kV 6S or 4S ready, depending on which prop you use, same as the old one. Has the newer version of their Aerostar reversing G2 80 amp ESC. It comes with a 5x8 6S prop included, or the 4S is optional prop. I guess it doesn't come with it, but that's a 16x8 for the 4S. So 15x8 for 6S, which is what it comes with, and then a 16x8 4S optional prop. The required normal battery is a 3000 to a 5500 6S, and if you want to do 4S, you do a 4000 to a 6000 4S. They also sent out with the plane, which is I'm going to assume what they intend me to fly with, a 4500 Bolt X high voltage pack, 4500 6 at 80C. So that's what they sent with the plane. So cool, very cool. And that's what I'll be doing all my setup and testing and everything with. Okay, it has this is the newer, I guess the new stuff, because like I said, I never had the original Grand Tundra. Oversized air-filled soft rubber low bounce Tundra tires. So that's great for you grass guys. Improved tail wheel design, stronger, more robust. New stunning high-vis scheme. Looks like it's in a green and black and silver. New motor design for improved cooling and efficiency. Apparently that must have been a problem with the last one. Like I said, I never had the old one or the original, and it was, maybe it was Avios too. I honestly don't know. But here it is. I'm doing this video ahead of time, but this is going to be released on the 26th of September 2025. And I'm actually doing this ahead of that, but because I sent it ahead of time, but I won't have it ready. Yeah, it comes with a quick set guide. So we'll be using that. CG, in case I forget to mention, 75 to 80 millimeters back from the leading edge root. But like I said, I'm sure I'll mention that. Got a box in here. Don't know what's in it. So let's... Oh yeah, that's right. I think it's got the prop. Hey! Alright. You got your big old honking wing spar. Looks like all your bits and goodies. Folks, I don't want to do... I know a lot of these YouTubers and TikTok, they'll open up the box and they'll just drop it and the whole plane's laying out, and then they'll drop it again, everything's put together. Now, we're going to go through the process. I mean, I know it might be a little more boring. It might be a little... Don't lose those screws. Apparently, these are part of your wing struts. I know doing it this way might be a little more boring, but I ain't with all that newfangled technology stuff. So struts that are looks like they're steel plastic clad. Yeah, them little struts, I bet you that's where the, yeah, I bet you that just goes right in there. Yeah, there's holes on either end. Yeah, okay. All right. You got your struts. Now these are probably struts for the back, for the tail feathers. Usually that's what that sort of thing is. And they're metal. These are not plastic, they're metal. Alright, let's see what all we got here. Here. Oh, you got a where's my knife here? Oh man, just dropped the blade in the box. Big old honking prop, and the nut is in the bag. It looks like maybe there's a spacer or something in there, so don't lose that. Okay, I'll be willing to bet this is probably for the elevator. And then you've got another smaller strut or tube. I don't know. We'll have to see. We'll discover all this together. Okay, all your vortex generators, you're going to glue them on. Looks like all your spinner, all your nuts, wheel, tail wheel, which is big honking tail wheel. Not sure what these are. Looks like rubber bands or something in there. We'll figure that out. That's just what's in this bag. Oh man. Oh, this is the gear assembly. This is heavy. This is heavy. Oh, I bet you the rubber bands are for the suspension. Yeah, this is all heavy duty gear here. This is for the struts, suspension struts. So this thing's meant to hit the ground running. Alright. Don't think it's going to be very difficult to put together. Let's get all of our... Huh. That's unusual. I bet you that's for FPV. It's probably an optional cowl. But boy, that's a bright green. I mean, you're not going to be able to miss this one. Oh, the tires are cool. Look at these tires. They're squishy. They're squishy tires. Oh, and those, I just felt that. This is metal. This is all metal here. Squishy. Squishy tires. Alright. Squishy tires. Oh man, look how big these elevators are. How big these elevator halves are. Foam hinge, but does have laminate in there. So, well, maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. No, it doesn't. But that's a strong hinge. I mean, yes, I know it's foam, but it's fairly thick. All right. Yeah, that's where that spar goes through there. And of course, we have the wings and their little individual pocket here. All right, now what's this? What this be? Oh, you gotta connect the rudder, but that's okay. That's all nice and protected in its own little foam coffin. Ball link. Okay, nice ball link there. Looks like you're gonna, like this is gonna be a pop-in type deal. I like that. Always kind of keep up with your debris as you're going along. And just like the Tundra, well, this is a Tundra too, got them big old, I guess they're Fowler flaps, big old flaps. Foam hinge, but it's a good quality foam hinge. Nice big light there on the end. Got a light there. Oh, look, this is cool. Look how the wings got the quick connects there, and looks like 2 spars. Well, yeah, that makes sense. I got 2 spars. And look at how you got metal inserts where you're going to attach the wings. Probably looks like you're going to attach them from the top. Ball links are already installed here. You just got to hook up your control rods. These are labeled for your struts, so you can't get that wrong. That's pretty cool. At pretty cool. Nice Grand Tundra on the bottom of the wing. Can't miss that one. Party cool, man. Party cool. Another light there in the front there. Light on the end, on the end here. On that. Okay. This is a big plane. This is a big plane. This ain't no small plane. And yeah, this livery is this green. I don't know if you, it's like resonating off. It's very, very bright. And I'm going to make it even brighter by giving it a clear coat of my, I got a can handy. Actually, this is the clear satin, but I use the clear gloss. But this brand, polyacrylic, this is what I spray on my planes. Just don't get too much in the hinges though. Okay, you can gum up your hinges. A light coating in your hinges. Okay. Yo dee 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 dee. Da 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 da. All right, let's get this bad boy out of here. Oh, this is cool. Didn't notice this. There's a light right there. That is neat. That is very, very. Oh, we got a tow release thing here. Tow cable if you want to pull something big and heavy into the sky. All right, let's take a look at our, set that down gently on the ground there, on the table. Always check all the compartments of your foam coffin here. Make sure, because sometimes those, I mean, look, it's all white and they have a tendency to wrap parts in little white bags or clear bags, and it's all, you know, what you're looking for is all white. All right. And just like with the other Tundra, okay, or the Durafly, there's where you're going to put your receiver. Plenty of room in there. It's got an XT90 connector, which is no big deal, which is great because they sent an XT90 with the plane. Going to be a top loader. Yeah, that's an, you know, so you got your choice of 2 canopies, one for FPV, one for the normal flight. Look at how big that battery compartment is. And I just noticed something really, really cool. Look at that wooden tray in there. It's got numbers on the side. You can take that tray out, and that way you can kind of remember where you got your CG and where you put your battery, what size battery. I'm going to assume that's going to, oh cool, it's push button. That is neat. Okay, you push button. How does that work? You usually slide or something. Okay, just a simple push button design to take your battery tray out. I'm going, yeah. I can get it out of there. Anything like this is going to be new. It's going to be a little tight right off the bat. But that's cool. See how they just tongue groove. You put it in, slide it back, and then this pushes into place to lock it in. So that is awesome. Awesome blossom. Nice, strong. And you got numbers on there so you can kind of remember where you got your place for your battery for your CG. You can take these straps and move them around if you want to. Thank you, Avios. This it says G2T on there. G2T. So I like that. I like that. All your wires are hanging down. They're all labeled. Hey, we got thrust reverse. So that's good. All right. Got a light controller, flap, ailerons. This is probably rudder. No, that's flap. All right. So everything's labeled there. Let's see. Got throttle. This is going to be lights. Okay, aileron, flap. And somewhere in there is going to be... Oh, that's all back here. Elevator and rudder. Well, that makes sense. It's all going to be back here. That way, the only thing you should have dealing with up here is going to be your battery connection. Everything else is going to be back here connected to your receiver. So those wires you're going to fish back. So all you're going to have to deal with up here is just your battery connection, your XT90. So that's cool. That makes it very clean. I like only having to deal with the battery up front. That's nice. Okay. Prop adapter is already hooked to the motor. It's got this is all plastic. Okay. You don't have any lights up here, but look at all that cooling going in there. And on either side. Now the motor is, can't really see the motor. I already read the description, but this is all plastic here. So I'm very impressed with this battery thing. This is neat. This is going to make it very, very handy. With all them wires will be out of the way, so it won't be a problem. Okay, slide that down. It fits down in there, and then you pull it, push it back. ESC, push them back. You got a big opening that's the same shape as this, and you push that down like pieces of a puzzle. Push that down, turn it, and that battery. I'm holding by the battery strap. That battery's in there. It ain't going. That is cool. That is a great feature. Great feature. I like that. This is impressive. Oh, there's your big. No problem putting the wings on and off. See? All right. Let's get our materials together, and we'll be right back. All righty, we're back. Now we're going to start with. Now I don't have the guide because this is before it's been released, so I don't have the guide. So I'm having to look at the old online, the old Grand Tundra. But we're going to get through this, and as I make mistakes, you'll benefit from those mistakes. All right, and it looks like attaching this gear is going to be the most complicated, but for lack of a better term, you're going to want these plates here. We're going to take this stuff out of the bags. These plates are going to fit flat like this. There's a little channel here, and you're going to fit on top of here. And see how that's going to go like that? Oh wait, sorry, I got the wrong one here. You're going to want it to lean forward towards the front of the plane. So it's going to be like this. And see how that's going to... This bar here is going to be up front. Okay, you're going to need a 2.5 millimeter hex drive for all the screws, and they're all going in the middle. So we'll go ahead and get one of these lined up in here. Okay. That way it's not going to be flopping around anymore. Okay, get another one. Always get these little trays to put your screws in. Unfortunately, they're not magnets, so it really doesn't help any, but it's something where you keep all your screws together. Because the last thing you want to be is like me and have a screw loose. Anyway. And like anything, I got 4 connections here, so I'm going to do a crisscross pattern first. Okay. Go all the way down, bottom it out. Once it bottoms out, I'm going to give a nice half turn with my finger strength. I'm going to do the same thing here. Now, I'm not trying to ignore you, but I look at the screen just to make sure that we're keeping you, you can see what it is I'm doing here. Okay. And believe it or not, that's a good sound. When stuff fits tight like that, that's a good sound. That is a good sound. Now, you're going to remove this assembly if you get the optional floats. Okay. Okay. So that bar here is going to be in the front. It's going to be towards the front of the plane. Okay, so go ahead and grab your other one. Remember, the flat side for this bar is up front. It's going to fit in there just like that. We get another screw in there to get it placed. Okay. That way it's not flopping around. Like I said, I didn't have the first one, so this is all new to me. 2.5. You're going metal screw. Always drop something. It's law. You must drop a screw. You know, that way you got your screw loose. Anyways, nice and tight. Don't. You're a lot stronger than what you're dealing with here, so don't anchor it down so tight. Nice and flush, and then anchor it down like a half turn once you bottomed it out. I'm using my Hobby King stand, large plane stand. All right, that is in there. So, like I said, make sure that this is raked forward. See how this is angled back, flat part up front, and the telltale is that these bars here are in the front of the plane. All right, so now we got to get the suspension together on these guys. So I am going to assume, which is probably a very dangerous thing for me to do, that that's going to go in there like that. Okay. And this is going to go in there like that. Okay. Yeah, see how that's going to hang? All right. Now, kind of hold that, it's kind of by pressure. And let's get these rubber bands involved here. Okay. Okay. Then I got to figure out how this attaches. All right. Let me fiddle with that, how that's supposed to attach, and I'll find out how these are supposed to attach, and I'll be right back and I'll show you. Okay. All right. You're going to grab, in the kit, you're going to have small machine screw with a small machine locking nut on it, okay? You're going to need a 1.5 driver, okay? 1.5 that fits into the end of that, and a small pair of pliers, okay? And there is a little channel right there on either side. You're going to run that screw through there, hold that in place, and that screw is going to go through the end of that right there. So let's go ahead and do that. And that's going to hold that brace in place. Okay. Which that kind of makes sense to me now. Okay. Get that in there like that. I'm going to take this nut. Use my, and it's very handy to have these angled pliers. They make your life so much easier. And that way I can put that in there at an angle. Okay. Get that like that. Get that lined up. That's one of them locking nuts that has like built-in Loctite in it. So, okay, that's not coming out. Okay, now I've just got to, okay, that's got some suspension. I just got to figure out these rubber bands, okay? And you get an extra one. That's definitely going to hold them back in place. think I'm liking that, because they're definitely not coming undone. And then you got one extra of these locking nuts. Okay, put your wheels on. Now, you're gonna need a regular bicycle style pump, which I've got one right here. All right, you're gonna need a typical needle. Okay, typical cheap bicycle pump. Okay, now these are pretty squishy. They look like, but what you're gonna do, you're gonna take your needle, fish that in there, go all the way in, and I suggest just one pump. Pull it out. Maybe another one. Yeah. Well, you know what? Let's go with 3. Let's give it 3 good pumps. Okay. There. All right. Slide your wheel on there. Okay, I'm going to give 3 good pumps to this other one because it feels about the same. Okay. Yeah, maybe. Nope, that one needs a little bit more. I want to have them a little more squishy, or not quite so squishy. All right, there we go. Okay. Needle valve in. Slide that on there. And then you've got these locking nuts. Okay. And for that, you'll need a pliers or a tool. I should have a tool. Hold on, let me find a tool. Okay. These little tools, little T-tools, are perfect for this. Okay. Don't get it so tight the wheel won't move. You want to be able to move freely, but it's not going to come off of there. Okay. Turn this around here. Those are nice and holding the air. Definitely want to tighten that up a little bit. Okay. All right. Thread that on there. I can see the end of the thread or the screw coming through. Oh, that's too tight. All right. All right. Yeah, that's way too much. So we're going to have to tighten that up some. All right. So, like I said, I'll figure out a better configuration, but there you go. All right. Now you're going to want to turn your attention to here. Okay. And let's, or actually that extra screw probably for the tail. Let's put our tail feathers in. Elevator. Work your hinges. You're going to grab your the wing spar that's solid. Okay. Go in there like that. Okay. All right. This is going to, there's a place there for the screw that's going to connect in here. This is the bottom side. Let's, where you can see what I'm doing here. There's a hole there. Well, it's not, it's got foam. A little bit of foam in there, but that's okay. All right. Yeah, you definitely want to put the elevators on first. Poke that through there. See, there's your screw. That's going to go in there. FBI calls out a clue. Let's take our wing spar. Yeah, that is. Like I said, this is a brand new model. Okay. Take my tool. Oh, gosh. There we go. That's in there tight, but I like tight. Okay. Push that on your wing spar. That's going to line right up in there. All right. See how that lined right up in there? Okay. All right. We're going to take the other side. Yeah, there's your screw connection. Screw connection in there. Line up on my wing spar. These two pieces are going to mate together. Okay. All right. Now, there's a little hole there. And that's where you're going to, yeah. Now, that channel opens up. I'm going to grab, it's got to be these, they almost look like machine screw. They have a, or they look like wood screws. They have a pointy end on them. Okay. I'm glad they're making all the screws the same size. And this is going to be a, no, probably a 2 millimeter. I think that's going to be a 2 millimeter. Hold on, let me get a 2 millimeter. Yes, yes, it's a 2 millimeter. It's going to hold. And like I said, these look like, they have little, they look like wood screws. Got a machine end on them. Okay. All right. If you can see, there's a hole right there where these two pieces line up. Okay. Go ahead and have one of these ready. And that's going to lock both of these pieces together. Now this is metal going into plastic, so let it bottom out and stop right there. Now you're going to take two more of those. We're going to that have these. They're pointy. They look like wood screws. Take our 2 millimeter. Make sure our holes are lined up there. That's nice and tight. Don't go crazy with it. You want to just snug it in good. You're not wanting to strip it out. Just tighten it up. Turn the bad boy back up here again. Remember, these screws are not magnetic, so they're going to get away from you. I think that's why they give you extras, because they know you're going to drop some. Or they know I'm putting it together, so they definitely know I'm going to drop some stuff. But there's hard plastic around all this. It's very nice. This is a good quality model. It is. It's very light too. Look at that. Look what I just did. I just looked at the camera, wasn't paying attention, and slipped out of the hole and poked a hole in the bottom of my wing. All right, that's in there like that. Now, while we're here, we're going to take. Oh, you can't screw that up. Those same screws that look like machine screws, okay, that look like wood screws, that are hybrid. All right. And we're going to go ahead and anchor this in there like that. Process elimination on these screws because, you know, it's obvious where they go. The machine screws go up here. These are going to go back here. Now, we're not going to hook up the control surface until I got a radio in there. All right, that's nice and tight. All right, now, let's put some, we don't want this thing just drag on the ground. Let's get our wheel, tail wheel. Now we got plenty of these screws, so I'm kind of obvious how this is going to go. Okay. All right. You know what? How much you want to bet we should put the rudder in now? Okay. looks like they're going to just pop in place. Might be easier for you to see it if I'm like that there. All right. This side is going to connect on this side because this is the elevator side. So there's the rudder servo. All right. You've got, looks like they're going to just pop into place. All right, see how that's got a key up there? That's going to pop in, and then we're going to put a screw in from the bottom here. So we're going to line up that top one there. Okay. That middle, that lined up right there. Middle is going to just pop into place. Okay. And then, take another one of these screws. It's got the machine. This looks like a wood screw. 2 millimeter. And you're going to go in right here. Okay. Now on this one, I've put enough of these planes together. You want to get this bottomed out, but don't tighten it up because you don't want to bind. See how it's moving the rudder? Okay. You don't want to bind the movement. You just want to get it in there. And don't worry, it ain't going to fall out because it's got them threads, some big beefy threads. I'm going to keep doing it until I notice a little bit of resistance. All right, I'm starting to know a little bit of resistance, so I'm going to back off just maybe a quarter turn, maybe just a tad bit more. All right, now look what we've got here. Got these arm things here. Well, that tells me that we've got suspension. Looky there. Okay, see that? I was wondering where we're going to be using these springs. Well, now I know. All right, get 2 more of these wood tapping type screws. Tappy, tappy, tappy. I'm going to put one. There's a hole right there. You can't miss it. Fits right in. This is all hollowed out where it fits like a glove. Only going to fit one way. Okay. Take another one of them. Boy, this silver color, when I give this thing a clear coat, boy, it's going to really pop. It's going to pop, man. It's going to pop. Nice and tight. That's on there. Okay, now we got these arms here. Let's take these springs. Open up your little baggie of springies. Springy dingies. Oh, and they're already kind of bent for your convenience. Okay. So, I'm going to put the hooped in actually here. Try to anyways. Hope I'm doing it right. All right. See how that goes? And that way you got some spring in there. Okay. All right. So that is done. Okay. Got our tail feathers. We got our rudder assembly. Like I said, we're not going to hook anything up until. Now, I don't know what these little rubber stoppers are for. Probably figure that out when I'm flying. Okay. So let's turn our attention to these wings. We can do without our plane stand now. Okay. All right. We got, I guess we do only have, yeah, we only got the one spar there. No, we got 2 spars. All right. You got a big one and a thinner one. Looks like the big one's going to go up front towards the front of the wing, and then yeah, they're 2 different sizes, so they're only going to fit one way. All right. So let's take our wing or wingy dingy. Quick connects. Line up your wing spar. They're size oriented, so they're only going to fit one way. This is meant to be taken on and off. It's going to slide in there just like a glove. Look at that. Going to be tight the first time. And then you're going to use these heavier duty screws like you use on the landing gear that have kind of a heavy head. They're a 2.5 millimeter wingspan. Okay. All right. 2.5. All right. Go ahead and get that connected there. Yeah. Definitely got to get the springs tighter because that's obviously not going to work. Definitely got to figure out what's going on with that. Okay. But we can finish what we're doing. That is these heavier. Like I said, I just don't have the instructions to tell me what to do. That's these heavier duty looking screws. Okay. Boy, she bottomed out. She's drunk. That's what happened there. She's drunk. With this kind of a plane, you know, now monotonous things like this, I'm going to fast forward through. But this kind of plane, it's going to be tight the first time. It's designed to be taken on and off. Okay. Now they probably say build time is 15 minutes. Yeah, in a fantasy world maybe, if everything fits perfectly the first time, then yeah. All right, but that's on there. That's definitely not coming out. So we're going to turn the plane over, and now we're going to work on the struts. Now, these struts are meant to come on and off quickly. Okay, so they give you somewhere these little cotter pins. Okay, and kind of obvious how this goes in here. See how this is angled down? It's almost like, look at that, meant to be that way. All right, remember that thing, that little bag of screws. Okay, the shorter spar is towards the front, and remember that we got those little screws. That's gonna screw in there right there. Now that's you get an extra one. Looks like a little Phillips head screwdriver. Okay. All right. And I think these are magnetic. Okay, yeah, these are magnetic. So you got to put that one spar together. But you see what I'm doing here? I'm screwing up. That's what I'm doing. Okay. Oh, I'm still seeing it move. All right, maybe I should put this on the table and do this real quick. You only get, looks like you get one extra. Which I'm glad that they're giving us one extra. Make sure those holes line up. All right. Which that box, I don't know why that wasn't put together, but that's how that's going to look. Okay, and it's obvious how it fits in there. Okay. Go ahead and have your cotter pins here. Get them out. Put the one, I'm going to pop this into place here. Maybe. All right. How these holes run. All right, they go this way, transversely. Taking a, and I like the way they're kind of angled up to kind of grab them. Okay. Holes are going with the wing this way. Okay, see? So press down with your finger and push in with your thumb. Okay? All right. But when you get all done with the wing, okay, that's hooked there, there, and you can see the pin is right there. You can easily pull it out with the way that thumb is in there. And then for these, I mean, these are pretty strong. I doubled them, hooked them through around one side or on the other side, and then went through and then hooked them around again. So double your rubber band once, hook it on one side around the edge here, come up through, back, and then back around again. And that made it, as you can see, those are coming back. So let's give it the test and put it on its wheels. Because a while ago, it looked like it was drunk and just slid right down. It's a big plane. Okay. All right. But yeah, now those are, they ain't gonna, yeah, I like that. And you do get one replacement rubber band. All right, now let me do a real quick look-see at this prop, and we'll see if it's, I can be able to tell pretty much right away if it's balanced. And a lot of y'all are going to say, that's not the way you balance a prop, but it works for me. So I'm just going to put it through here. All right, I'm going to put it on something. And what I'm looking to see, is it going to favor one blade over the other? It's going to start, if it keeps dipping to that blade there, then that means that blade's got more material on it. Put it this way. Okay. I think that's going to be just fine. All right, undo our nut there. Okay. Drop it on the floor. Always drop everything. You got to drop everything at least once. Okay. You're going to slide this on where you see the numbers, and this has a kind of a grabbing edge on it. Okay, put the nut back on there like that. Put this one back on there like that. All right, and then you've got, if I hadn't lost it already, you've got a little cap here. Okay, it's a metal cap. Huh. Oh, look, you can use that instead of that there, instead of that nut, which I like that. That looks a whole lot better. Okay, this nut is metal. So you're going to put that, leave that washer back there. Okay. Tighten that all the way down. Hold your prop. Take a tool. Run that through there. Okay. Looky there. Looky there. See, because you want to be able to quickly be able to change these from the 4 for the 6 blade props. And that's got, like, there's holes on the side of the motor to cool it off, but alright. We're going to go ahead and take that back off though, because we go into my next step. Okay. But I like that. That's hard metal and painted to match. So we're going to ahead and just take that prop right back off of there. And it's on there now because it's tightened down. So, alright. And I'm just going to leave that assembly together. Because if you can get away without having the prop on inside the man cave when you're working on it, that's what you want to do. And then just save this prop or nut somewhere else. Alrighty, let's get the next thing we're going to do, and this is going to be a peripheral step. I'm just going to explain it to you. I'm going to do it off camera. But you're going to glue on all your vortex generators. Now the kit does not come with the glue. Okay. You got a bunch of screws left over. But all you're going to do is you're going to glue these on. Okay. And the way they glue on is, see, it look like a little wing. Okay. So that looks like a little wing. Alright, think of this as the front. That little dip in area, like this going this way, this is the front. And you got all these perforations on top of the wing. Okay? All you're going to do is glue them in place like that. Just going to, they just glue them in place. Alright? So I'm going to glue them in spot. Get my battery and everything. We'll be right back in a few minutes and we'll go over the electronics and everything of it. But I'm going, off camera, I'm going to just glue all them on, just using plain old, good old white tube glue, you know, foam tack, whatever one you want. So when we come back, she'll be all lit up, powered on, and we'll go over CG, we'll go over my rates, and more than likely, well, I'll try to go by the book, but more than likely this kind of plane, I'm going to do 100% throws, 30% expo, all the way around. And flaps are going to be down, probably 100% down, 50%, and then 0. And we'll just have to take a look. But here you go. We'll be right back, and we'll have it all lit up here in just a minute. Well, hey folks, Fat Guy Flies RC coming to you from the Fat Guy Flies RC studio. We're continuing on with the unbox build and setup video. So I took a break. Actually had a day. Now I'm back and finished the video. Got her all together, got her all bound up. She's flight ready and ready to go. And as you can see, this is by far the Avios Grand Tundra 2 is not a small plane by any stretch of the imagination. Hold on just as I want to show you something. All right. Just to give you a size comparison, this is the Durafly Durafly Tundra version 3, so it give you a little bit of a size comparison between the two. Both comparably equipped planes. It's just this bad boy is just 3 times the size of it. So just so you can kind of see just how much bigger of a plane we're talking about here. Okay, alrighty. Well, now that you've seen the two in the size comparison, you can get a little appreciation of just how big this plane is. Now, yes, the wheels are filthy. No, I have not flown it yet. Last night when I played the video, Bill, I took it outside at a range test, and there's an open field across the street, and I had permission to be on that field. And I drove around in that wet field out there just to see how she reacts in the grass, and absolutely fabulous flying plane, or actually running plane. I haven't flown it yet. Well, anyways, I got her all together. Let's go over some of the things about the plane that I discovered during the build that I was reflecting in the video. But let's talk about a few things. One thing I mentioned in the video, there's little rubber stoppers that I found in a bag, and I couldn't figure out what they're for, because I'm getting this before it's released, so therefore I don't have the files. The instruction files were not available for me, so I had to do dead reckoning on just what they were for. Well, they're the same thing as when you put fuel tubing on the servo connectors and push rods in to hold up over the clevis to keep it from coming undone. Well, they provide these for you. They give you 3, and they're meant to go on the aileron connectors. And I'll show you what I did so that they don't come undone. Now, trying to manipulate this plane in this man cave is not that easy. But if you look underneath there, okay, I have to hold the plane, but you see right there, it's actually slid up over the connector there. Okay, you get 3 of them extra. You get 3 of them, and you meant to use 2, so you get an extra. Okay. The other things to look out for. One thing I did, pushing the struts. It's meant to be a quick connect wing, right? Okay. Well, these struts do come off. You have to pull these pins, these cotter pins, out, and they have a nice little angled mechanism or way they're put together, so you can easily grab them, pull them out. But the one on the fuse on this side here, I had a hard time getting the pin to go in, so I took a piece of wire like this, and I just kind of fished it through back and forth, and I finally got that channel opened up enough to where I can easily take the pin on and off. Okay. The rubber bands, you have to get this suspension, you have to double the rubber band and then wrap it around twice in order to get this suspension nice and rock solid. Otherwise, like you saw in the build, she'll go all the way down, but I'm really having to press hard to get this plane to splay down, but it easily will pop back up, and I've got the battery in it. Okay, so you're going to have to really hit hard in order to get that to see. So, and it's going to pop right back up again. All right. Lights. There is a controller that was just sitting right here. Okay, well, it comes with a light controller, and I just had it, and I don't know what I did with it. It was just sitting right here. I must have knocked it off. Well, anyways, you have two. It controls the landing lights on the front of the wing, okay? They are separate, and what the intention is that you're plugged, and I wish I knew where it was. I don't know what happened to it. I could show it to you, but I removed it, okay? You're going to have these leads coming out, and you're going to think, how come, you plug everything in, and they only need power, okay? The outside lights on the end of the wings and this light here, I wired them into the power source on what would be the bind port on my receiver, okay? Because they just need power. That's all they need. But I couldn't figure out why these lights wouldn't come on. Well, there's a controller in there, okay, that has one lead that goes into your receiver, and then it controls both these lights, and you're meant to plug that into a channel, and you can actually turn the lights on or off. You can mix them with your, like say you put your landing flaps down, you can mix them where they come on with your landing flaps. However way you want, which is a nice feature, but that requires another extra channel. And I don't know what happened to my controller. I just had it. Oh well, I lose everything. But I probably in the case, there it is. I see it now sitting over there. But you need to see it. Okay, this comes in the plane. Okay, and you're plug this into a channel that you can control on your receiver. Okay, and then that way you can turn your lights off. And like I say, my suggestion would be to tie them in to the landing channel when you land your flaps, and then let the lights come on, or turn them on and off at will. That depends on you. That's just a suggestion. But the intention was you to be able to do that, and the other lights you'll have to wire in together and put them into just supply power on your receiver. I chose, however, to not have to worry about that and have removed this, and I have all the lights, all three connection lights, because these are one, those are one, and that's one back. Those are all wired together, and you have to have a 3-position Y to go into your receiver to provide them power, but they're on just all the time. So it's all in what you want, but they don't provide the Y for that. The intention is for you to have at least 7 channels, because you have thrust reversing, control the lights, okay, so that's 2. Then you got flaps, then you got aileron, okay, throttle, and rudder. Okay, so that's all 7, or actually that's 6 channels. So hold on, let's think about this now. Throttle, aileron, elevator, rudder, flaps, reversing, and then light controller. So you would need 7 channels if you want to control everything as the plane sits here, as what you get. If you only have a 6-channel receiver and you still want lights, or you still want reverse thrust, which I chose, then you'll have to wire the light, give up controlling them, and wire them together into a power port, or just wire them with your reverse, or however they just need power. They don't have to have a signal per se. Okay, so that's that. So other than the issue with the suspension, having to find the right combination for the landing gear to where they won't splay out so bad, you just got to get the right combination of them rubber bands around in there to where they're tight. They are very strong, and you do get 1 extra rubber band. So that having that said, maybe someone would come up with maybe some stronger springs or something that you might be able to do. But I think it's going to be perfectly fine the way it is. Battery and CG. This is important. This is not a bad thing. But for the 6S powered of this plane, the 6S version, you're going to have to put, if you're going to run a 5000, it needs to be like a high voltage pack that's lighter, and you're going to put it all the way back in order to get CG, and she's still going to favor nose heavy, which is okay with this kind of a plane. Right now, I have the 4500, which is the supplied, which is supplied to me, bolt pack that they gave to me for review, with the intention of showing it in this plane, and this is what's in there right now. And I've got it as far back as I can get it, and keep in mind it's a 4500 6S, and I'll tell you CG in a moment. But with that battery there, she's still kind of wanting to favor nose heavy just a little bit, which is fine with this kind of a plane. Okay, CG is 70 to 85 millimeters back from the leading edge root, and as you can see underneath the wing there, over here, we'll go backwards. I got two little glue marks, and I've got it marked. Okay, that way I can feel it. Okay, now I'll tell you. Let me show you. Go ahead and show you the battery placement in order to get that CG there. Okay, has a wonderful way of taking the. You push down on this button, twist it, pull it out, grab your battery tray, slide it forward a little bit to undo the mechanism. Okay, plane comes in XT90. Okay, I'm gonna unplug that. In order to get that battery, to get that plane to CG enough, I've got the 4500 as far back as I can possibly get it. You see how these teeth are here? You put it in there, slide it back, locks into place, and then you put that key, that button out. Okay, so I'm gonna put it back in, but you got to put that battery all the way back. So if I was to put a regular LiPo, regular 5000 LiPo, not a high voltage pack, then I know I'm probably going to have to boost up elevator trim because she's going to fly a little bit on the nose, a little too nose heavy. That goes in. See, it looks like an anchor. Okay, well, think of it. You got to push down and twist in order to anchor it in. So think of it that way. Push in and twist. Reach back there and grab my XT90. I already know my throttle cut's on. And that's the low spark style XT90. So that's nice. Okay, now we go over the settings that I chose. Now, I've got, and this is all Spectrum, so, and this is how with my experience of flying this style of a plane, I didn't necessarily go by the book. Okay, I'm just going to let you know. I'm fairly close to it, but I didn't necessarily go by the book. Okay, so I'm sorry, Hubby King, but I'm the one who's going to have to fly this thing, so I know you probably want me to do everything exactly by the book, but I didn't. To be perfectly honest with you. But let me show you these settings, okay? I'm going to have to move the plane a little bit forward because this is, like I said, it's not a small plane by any stretch of the imagination. All right. To show you my throws, okay, I'm only doing one rate, okay, and that's 100% throws on the aileron with 30% expo, elevator 100%, 30% expo, and rudder 100%, but with 40% expo, okay. Now, my flap settings have assigned a switch D. Flaps up are a negative 100%, no mix. Takeoff flaps, 0%. And I chose a 10% down elevator mix because that's the same as I run in the Durafly Tundra. And these are basically the same plane, just this one's bigger. And we'll see how that goes. I haven't flown it to test this yet. And then landing is a positive 100% with 25% down elevator mix. You can kind of see that elevator moving. Okay, but like I say, I haven't flown it yet, so I don't know how those settings are going to work. But that's my general rule of thumb whenever I put a flat mix in for a large high wing trainer style plane. I'll be honest, I think this is going to be fine on the suspension. But I'm thinking if you hit too hard, she is going to want to splay out on you. So maybe somehow triple. But that's still pretty strong with the battery in it. So you're going to have some bounce. That's the only thing I have found that may be an area of concern. I haven't flown it. I haven't landed her yet. So I really don't know just how good or bad that's going to be. But we're going to find out together because I will show you the maiden. And when I show a maiden, it's me maiden for the first time, just like you're watching it for the first time, okay? So anything I come across, it's new to me, and therefore will be new to you. It's one of the reasons why Hobby King wanted me to do reviews for him, because I'm going to show you, not to say anything against other reviewers, but I get to experience at the same time you're experiencing it. That way we go through the process together. And that's how I feel it should be, okay? And that's why sometimes maidens are actually kind of boring, if you think about it, because I'm just trying to trim it out and make sure she's flying. I'm not doing anything crazy with it just yet. But that's what you do. All right. Now, I do have AS3X on board, but AS3X Plus on board because I have an AR631. And I know in the build I said I was going to put an AR630, but I just decided on an AR631. The AR630 I had was covered in glue and kind of nasty, and it's old. And I said, well, I've got a brand new one, an AR631 in the box. I'll just use it, a brand new one. So that's what I did. As of right now, on my AS3X settings, it's just the default settings. I haven't done anything with them, but to share the default settings with you, the gains, it is at one-time gains. The gains themselves, 40, 50, and 60 on roll, pitch, and yaw. Priority, all at 140. That's the default. And that's usually good for a high wing type plane anyways. Did nothing with heading. Stop lock, the default, the way it comes, is 35 on roll, pitch, and yaw. And release rate is 55, 55, 75 on roll, pitch, and yaw. But that's entire. I'm about to say that's the default. And usually for this type of a plane, those default settings are pretty darn good. Obviously, I don't have a nose wheel. I did put reverse thrust, the little yellow tag or yellow pigtail that came off the servo, the throttle servo. I plugged that into my gear channel, or channel 5 on my receiver. Okay, and then I programmed it to my momentary switch, or my bind switch on my throtter. That way I can hold it down for braking, and then when I release it, cruise mode, it goes back to normal forward thrust. Okay, I do have I'm away from my prop.
Motor is mean. It will bite you bad.
And then with the throttle secured or throttle cut on.
Motor is so nice. Not gonna hurt you.
And that's my audio call out for that. Here's my flaps.
Takeoff flaps. Landing flaps.
Okay.
Flaps up.
And then, of course,
braking. Cruise mode.
Okay, and that's for that. Now, for the AS3X, for safe
mode. AS3X mode.
AS3X mode, the way I normally will fly, and then
trimming mode, no gyro.
Trimming mode means there's nothing going on. No kind of gyro at all. Okay? For AS3X. Oh, wait. That's right. What's the thing about AS3X? Until you bump the throttle up over 25%, it doesn't come on. So I want to get that prop away from me. Okay. Because I do have it flight ready now. All right.
Motor is mean. It will bite you bad.
Oh, yeah. She got power.
Motor is so nice.
But,
not gonna hurt you.
Okay, throttle cuts on. Now I've got the AS3X gyro at the maximum deflection because I put it on the knob here. Okay. I put it on the knob. So I got the gains turned up all the way. So that's the maximum. So if I turn this down to, like, say maybe a third, okay, now not much gyro at all. Okay, so that's where I can kind of feel that out. Another good thing, if you don't want to use a knob, you can always put it on a slider on the back, on the gains on a slider, because that's a little bit harder. It moves a little less, it stays in place. You can hit that knob pretty easy, but I'm used to the knob, so that's entirely up to you. All right, that's pretty much it. Like I say, I'm concerned about the, make sure my throttle cuts on. I'm concerned about the suspension, about the rubber band, because I didn't have instructions to tell me just how to put those rubber bands on, so I kind of, by dead reckoning, but like I said, that's with the batteries in there, and she's starting to splay a little bit, but you get on the grass. This is a slick surface it's on right now. I gave each wheel 3 or 4 pumps of air, and overnight they're still holding their air pretty good. I don't know if you can see those wheels or not, but they're still squishy. You'll need a bicycle pump with a traditional needle, and you shove it in all the way, and then I gave it 3 good pumps and 3 or 4 pumps until they're got just we can kind of squeeze them just a little bit, and that's what I did. Okay, but we'll see. I gave her a clear coat of the polyacrylic, which I told y'all I would, which I have a can handy right now. But yeah, there you go. Trying to think of anything else. Like I say, I chose to let the lights be on all the time. You could control these landing lights with a switch. It comes with a controller for that, but you'll need a channel that you can control on your radio to do that with. This is a big stable plane. I think that after I fly around a little bit, I may remove the AR631 and use that as something smaller and lighter that would benefit from a wind gyro and just go to, say, an AR620. But for right now, we will try it with the AS3X Plus and see how I like it. These lights are very bright. I got all the studio lights on here, so you really can't tell. I'm going to turn one light off. Maybe it'll help you. Let me turn a few lights off that we can kind of just see how bright. I got several lights in this studio. All right. There. Kind of get an idea of just how bright these lights actually are. So I can't wait for a nice low light situation or a morning sortie or something. I think that would be really cool. So, alrighty. Well, there you go, folks. Hobby King, I want to thank you for sending the plane out for a review, for giving me a chance, and this time, see, they did the same thing with, you probably can't see it, it's off camera right here, but I'm moving it now. The NG, the 3D plane, the extra NG, NG 300, extra 300, it's hanging up above me. They sent it out to me. They said, hey, we're going to get this to you before release and everything. And, well, the FedEx shipped it, but then FedEx held it for 5 days, and I missed the release date. So it wasn't Hobby King's fault. It wasn't my fault. It was FedEx dropped the ball on that. But other than that, this plane is here. Here it is, like the 21st of September. This isn't going to be released until the 26th, so I'm shooting this ahead of time. I'm going to take it out, get her flown, get you a bunch of videos on it. My intention is to do a normal maiden flight, okay, and then to get her trimmed out. Then we'll go over the settings, and then I'll do a separate video on performance, do some aerobatics, see how she snap roll, inverted, test her stall, that kind of thing. And then there's a section at my field that has a real rough road and everything. I have an intention of taking you back there and film it taking off on the rough road into a rough, STOL type situation, do some footage there. So, and that's what's coming up. But this will be the first thing you see. And thank you so much. Thank you, Hobby King. Hobby King sent this out to me. I thank you for them putting their faith in me to bring you these planes. I hope to give a good representation of it. But like they said to me, if it's great, say it's great. If it's bad, say it's bad. If something wrong with it, tell us how to fix it. And that's the whole point of reviewing these planes. That way, before you as the viewer go out and spend your hard-earned money, you've got a little bit of knowledge. It's not like you can go down to your local hobby shop and test fly a plane like you can a car. Okay, so you got to look at these videos and kind of hope that trust me and trust other reviewers that we're showing you the most unbiased product presentation as we can. Will I make money selling this plane? Yes, I will. You buy this plane and get a link, I get a little percentage on it. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yes, I do. But here's my thing about being an affiliate and being sponsored. If I sell you a plane and I say, hey, it's the greatest thing ever, and I know it's not a good plane, and then you buy it and you hate it, and now you're mad at me, are you going to keep watching me? No, because there goes my integrity. No, if I tell you it's a good plane, this is why I believe it's a good plane. This is why I like it. If it's got a crappy thing about it, I'm going to say this is a crappy thing about it, okay? Because I want you to have a true experience. Because if you can trust what I'm telling you, or at least I'm telling you the truth of what I see as I see it, okay, my own perception, then you make a better decision, okay? And you'll trust what I'm telling you. I'm not going to lie to you. If something's great, it's great. If it's bad, it's bad, okay? That big NG is probably one of the best flying aerobatic planes I've ever had. But the gear needs to be fixed. They need to have stronger gear. Hobby King, sorry, but that's just the truth of it, okay? It needs stronger gear. Other than that, it's perfect. We're going to find out what I like about this and what I don't like about this. But I'm going to share that with you. And if Hobby King or Hobby Zone or E-Flight or any of them want to drop me as being a sponsor, okay. I'm still going to keep on going, you know. All right, well, now that I've gone off on that tangent, y'all have a good one. God bless y'all. This is the all-new Avios Grand Tundra 2. And what's ironic is the other day I was flying, I haven't put these videos out yet. I was flying the Tundra V3. And in the video I was saying, man, I sure wish that they would come out with that new Grand Tundra. I wish they would come out with one, a bigger version of this, because I never owned the first one. And the next thing I know, bam! They were reading my mind. All right, I've yammered on long enough. Let's just go fly the thing, get you made. God bless y'all. We'll see you later. Bye.